let's change tack now and move from the power crisis. Almost two-thirds of all tyres sold in South Africa are illegal. Motorists who use these re-grooved, substandard tyres are not only risking their own lives, but of course also those of other road users. Now, to discuss the dangers of this practice, we're joined now by Automobile Association spokesperson Layton Beard. Layton, thanks as always for coming into studio.
Perfect, good to be here.
This is a very worrying statistic, isn't it?
It's extremely worrying, and I think when you consider the importance of tyres and the safety function they play on vehicles, when you're driving in a vehicle and the tyres are not in a good condition, you're literally playing with your life, and not only with your life, but with the lives of everybody else on the road. So it is an extremely worrying development, and something that we have been warning against for a very long time. Tyres are a major safety feature on a vehicle. They need to be checked, and you need to make sure that they're in a good condition.
Listen, I want to talk about taking care of your existing, new, not dodgy tyres in a moment.
Right.
But before we get there, I want to just tell us about what these retreaded tyres are. They literally are tyres that have been carved into.
Been re-grooved, basically.
Yeah.
And so it's an older tyre, and the grooves have been made to look as if the tyre is new or in a better shape than it really is. And we know from experience that these tyres are really not very safe at all. So it is extremely dangerous.
It makes sense then that the rubber is quite thin on the road. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, we discussed off air, when you're driving in a vehicle, you've basically got the surface of the tyre is the palm print of your hand on the surface of the road. So you've got 4 of those, whether you're in a new or a retreaded tyre. So when you consider how critical this is from a safety point of view, but this little piece of rubber that's on the tar, you've got to look after it. And if you don't, like I said earlier, you're playing with fire.
No, absolutely. And we know what our road safety statistics are already as it stands.
Yes.
So talk to me about looking after new tyres.
So, I mean, first of all, if you're driving in your vehicle now, stop your car, park your car, and turn the steering wheel a little bit so that your front tyres are at a bit of an angle. When you get out, you can have a look at them, okay? And you will very quickly see whether these tyres are in a good condition or whether they need to be replaced. If they do need to be replaced, don't cut corners. Go and replace them. We know that tyres are expensive, but because of the safety nature of it, it's one of those things where you really do have to go and replace it. You need to have a proper maintenance plan in place for your vehicle, and that includes putting money aside for your tyres.
I mean, we know about the economic situation in the country. South Africans are not big savers.
Sure.
Is it perhaps a discussion we should be having around the cost of tyres themselves?
We should be having a discussion about the cost of maintenance of a vehicle in general, absolutely. I can't stress enough, though. I mean, I see on your face that you're looking at me going, yeah, whatever. But the problem is, when it comes to tyres, it's such a critical safety feature. If you're going to skimp on that, you're really looking for trouble.
And you're talking about ordinary motorists here, but, we're also talking about taxis and public transport vehicles.
Absolutely. So anybody that is transporting other people for gain, in other words, a public transport service provider, you have to make sure that your tyres are in a good condition. Again, we've seen the dangers time and time again. We've got 13,500 people that die on our roads annually. When we look at some of the reasons, we're looking at things like blown tyres on a highway, and this is a big problem. So you've got to look after those tyres. When you go refuel, just check at the tyre pressure. Look in your owner's manual, what must our tyre pressure be, and check your spare wheel as well. If you're going away on a long distance trip, this is doubly important.
Yeah, do all of those checks. Thanks very much for coming into studio. Layton Beard is from the Automobile Association. That's an incredibly worrying statistic there. More than 60% of second-hand tyres sold in South Africa are illegal.